Hi, thought we'd have a chat today. So you're thinking about getting a dog? Are you considering one in the future? Are you currently looking? Here's some things that you might not have thought about. Budgeting. What are the costs to owning a dog? What are the annual costs? What are the one-off costs? What's your budget for purchase cost? So purchasing a dog is pretty much the start of your expenses. There are going to be ongoing costs. Obviously, there's setting up your yard so that it's dog proof. There's the ongoing cost of food. There's vet expenses. So in my book, I do cover budgeting and thinking about what you can afford, whether it's the right time in your life to own a dog, what sort of dog can you afford, and how do you go about making a decision about what dog's right for you. And I'm sorry to tell you that part of that decision will involve how much you can afford. So before you go looking and you start seeing cute little puppies or dogs that need a home, sit down with a piece of paper and a pen and work through your expenses and what the ongoing costs of dog ownership are going to be. So we start with things like dog registration. So that's the council fee. In some places there'll be an annual fee per dog. In other places there's a one-off lifetime fee. You need to find out from your local council or shire or whatever it's called what those annual costs are going to be. Start with that. So you've got your purchase price, you've got the setup cost of the yard, then you've got the vaccinations. Get a quote, ring around, talk to your vet that you have a relationship with, work out what those costs are going to be. So obviously initially, until your dog's fully vaccinated, there's a few ongoing costs there. Find out what they are, put them on your budget sheet. Things like food. What are you going to feed this dog? What does it cost? Some foods, dog foods, they have loyalty programs. You can get a specific brand on special maybe, so that's a way you can cut costs, but you do need to include it in your budget. So ring around, get an average price of a good quality dog food. If you're going to feed raw food, that's a whole nother conversation, but that again will incur extra additional costs. So you need to think about these things, make decisions, and get some pricing. We've got things like dog walking. So if you work full time, you might decide that you want to employ a dog walker. Ring around, get some prices, include that in your budget. Dog boarding. How many times are you going to go away a year? Are you going to go away 3 holidays a year? Are you going to get someone to come and house sit for you? Are you going to send your dog away to boarding? Another cost that needs to be included in your budget. Medications. If you've got a rescue dog, maybe it's got itchy skin, maybe it's got another health issue and it's going to require medication. You need to have an idea of what that's going to cost. If that's a monthly expense or an annual expense. Pet insurance. Pet insurance is a great idea. You can ring around and get different prices. Again, another monthly fee that you'll need to include in that budget. What else is there? Let me think. Let me have a look at my book. I think I've pretty much covered most of them. Grooming. If you've got a dog that requires grooming, you might need extensive grooming. If it's a long-haired dog, you might decide that you're going to clip it off. That's another fee. So that might be monthly, 6 weekly. Write that down on your budget and add these numbers up. So everything needs to be included. Be honest. The last thing you want to do is get emotionally invested in a dog and then find out that you really can't afford the ongoing costs. It's heartbreaking, and I see a lot of it, and our rescue places are full of dogs whose owners have taken on an additional financial commitment, and unfortunately they just can't sustain it. So please save yourself some heartache, sit down, do your numbers, and at the end of the day, make sure that you're taking on a dog that you can A, afford, B, you can sustain that cost throughout the life of the dog. So budget on a good 10 years and then maybe there'll be a couple of years in the dog's lifetime where you'll need to factor in aging and some extra additional costs or medications for that. And the one-off things that happen when you're out and about and lead an active life with the dog, sometimes stuff happens. There might be injuries, heaven forbid, and I hope it doesn't happen. There might be an accident. Those are additional one-off expenses. So just add that on your budget and work out, what those costs are likely to be. So in my book, I do include a bit of a sample budget on some of the things that you might come across. So grab a copy of the book. You can grab that through my website, nosetotaiLbook.com. If you've got any questions or you want to bounce a few ideas around, you can always send me an email, text, Facebook message me. I'm sure you'll be able to find me. Anyway, happy budgeting, and till next time, happy training.